after shutting down that business, I went into a form of depression because it was like living this fun, exciting life, running a entertainment magazine, going to premieres, that, to now having to work part-time in retail.
Why not just follow a very clear blueprint? And that's why I always say, like, one of my dreams is to have a McDonald's, because in every single land, in every single country, that is a brand and restaurant you can trust. Once you see those golden arches.
Some of my businesses didn't work because I was constantly trying to reinvent the wheel. And the moment I realized, actually, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You need to find an industry where people are already making money and just enter the industry.
I will always die on this. So, like, I will never ever want to be an inventor. That's the hardest thing.
If you're trying to focus on growing your business and doing everything in your business, it's going to be a painful experience, bro.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the best flipping show in the ecosystem ether universe galacticum called Unplug, baby.
Let's go.
And if you're joining us for the first time because you've been living under a rock, we are here to help you unplug from societal norms so you can live life on your best terms.
Guys, this show is not about telling you what to do. It's about reminding you that you're not stuck. You're not broken, you're not behind, you just are running on the old version of you. And this is about updating that version and going to the next level.
Let's go. Bro, you cold?
It's cold. It's cold in London. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep insulated. I'm trying to keep that warmth inside me, man.
Studio's like minus 10 degrees over.
You know what I mean? So I'm staying warm, man. I'm staying warm. It's cold outside.
Cool, say no. But guys, we've hit another milestone yet again. We have just hit how many subscribers? 600
subscribers.
So big thank you for all 600 of you who have, had the courage and the bollocks to click that subscribe button. But yeah, guys, we've got the big goal. You always changing the goalposts.
No, let's stick to the next.
What's the next milestone?
1,000.
1,000, okay, cool.
I think we're less than that. We're about 300 and something subscribers away from 1,000. Do you know what? To some people that might not sound like a lot, but I think for us,
that's massive.
It's massive. Do you know what I mean? We always have this saying, comparison is the thief of joy. And it's always so easy to compare your stage 1 to somebody else's stage 3. So for us, it is a big thing.
Massive.
Getting from 0 to 600 was a big thing. It's not been easy.
600 people in the room looks crazy.
Do you know what I mean? Guys,
thank you.
Make sure you're liking,
sharing.
Make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're sharing.
Please.
We appreciate you.
Thank you. But guys, in today's episode, I want to get really, really real. I know a lot of you guys are, my fellow entrepreneurs, side hustlers, even though I don't like that word, or basically trying to become the best version of yourself in any form of capacity. But for some of my business owners or to-be business owners, this episode is dedicated to you. Business is flipping hard. It's difficult. And between us, we have a wealth of experience with a wealth of different businesses and different industries that we've worked on. And I kind of wanted us to use today's episode to just give the real life, because everyone sees the glitz and the glams, the Lambos, the fast cars, the 6 figures, the employees, etc., etc. But I want to sort of get down into the nitty gritty. I want to not get negative, but I want to get real. Right? Of, some of our lowest points in business, near bankruptcy, maybe filing for bankruptcy, where we were sort of like hand to mouth, didn't know if we can, afford to pay our employees. So like, guys, if you're thinking of running a business, or maybe you're running a business and you want to know the reality and what it's like, this episode is for you. So make sure you stick around because we have a lot to unpack.
Love that.
Cool. Now, to kind of set the tone, right, and you can pick any, you can chop and change from, because John's run about 55 million businesses, right? you can chop and change from any one, right? But what either is your earliest moment in business where you are somewhat of a financial struggle, or maybe your most recent, or where it's had like the largest sort of struggle?
So my first ever real business, I was 19 or 20. This is 2000.
What business was this?
So this was a publishing company.
Okay. Yeah.
So me and a good friend, school friend, we decided to set up our own publishing company, and we launched our own free magazine. This is going back 20 something years ago. And we were very new to the industry. We didn't know anything about publishing. I think back then, 1920, just full of enthusiasm, you're full of heart, and you just want to be successful. So because of that, our lack of knowledge made us go into a lot of debt, because back then publishing, very expensive industry. So basically,
Really?
what that looks like is creating a magazine, creating content, and then hiring a team of people to execute essentially. And it got to a stage where, because it was a free magazine, we sold advertising to obviously pay for everything, etc. And yeah, it just got to a stage where we wasn't bringing in enough money via advertising to cover costs, and ended up getting ourselves into like huge amounts of debt with owning printers' money and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my first kind of example.
What's that level of stress and financial anxiety like as a 19-year-old? And by like, it wasn't a side hustle. This was a big business. Like, you were in the newspaper, like you were doing big things, right? So what's that like on your mentals?
Yeah, like you said, very stressful. I think at the time I still lived at home with parents, so financially for me, it wasn't.
You ain't gonna be homeless.
I'm not gonna be homeless, and ultimately it was a limited company, so we also knew that if we shut it down, the debt goes to the company. So for those of you who don't know, in the UK, if you and this is me not promoting shutting down your company if you get into debt. But essentially, if you own a limited company and for whatever reason, you know, your company goes out of business, any debt that your company owes, it goes down when you shut your company down.
Limited liability.
Yeah, limited liability. So the liability is with your company, not necessarily you. So at the time, obviously, we had a limited company, we shut it down, the debt was with the company. So I didn't feel that stressed. Obviously, the biggest thing I was stressed about was that we had created a certain lifestyle and we no longer had that lifestyle. And I think for the first time in my life, after shutting down that business, I went into a form of depression because it was like living this fun, exciting life, running a entertainment magazine, going to premieres, this, that, to now having to work part-time in retail to get myself back on my feet. That was the biggest That's mind games. Really depressed. I really fell into a state of depression, and that was quite hard.
I can only imagine.
Very, very hard. What about yourself?
I think for myself, one of my first proper businesses was an online e-commerce business called Amazon FBA, basically fulfilled by Amazon. And that type of, I call it personally like a real side hustle business because there's a constant churn of products. Effectively, what that business model looks like is you wholesale goods. So I would get this, bottle of Evian water for £1 and I sell it in a pack of 6 on Amazon for a tenner.
Yeah.
Subject to Amazon fees, I might get £3. But the problem is, you would come on, buy that same product from my same supplier, because it's not like I had exclusive rights or anything, right? And then you would sell it for £9. And then Mike would do the same for £8 and £7, and now we're just selling stuff for free. So there was always a constant churn of that. So it was like a very high cash flowing business. But one time I was like, cool, I found this product. It was a very, very like limited supply product. Well, I can say it now. It's called like Burt's Bees. It was a lip balm.
Okay.
It was a lip balm. I bought 5,000 units. Like, I took out 2 credit cards just to pay for it off. And then when you do a lot of like listing analysis on Amazon, you basically compare what's selling, right? But what I've never ever sold on Amazon before were variants, right? So for instance, like going back to my original example of Evan, you can get strawberry flavor, you can get lemon and lime flavor, you can get mango, you can get etc. But with this specific lip balm, let's just say for example, the original flavor was selling the most. It was selling like 100 times a day. And I bought 5,000 units. So I thought, 50 days, gone.
That was going to be my question. Why did you buy so many?
Because the suppliers had a minimum MOQ.
MOQ.
Yeah,
okay.
a minimum order quantity. And I really wanted to get into bed with the supplier because I knew if I go into bed with them, they can give me more products and etc. Because they had either a minimum spend or minimum order quantity. So I thought, okay, cool. And the price was just dirt. It's like 38 pence or something like that. I can't remember what it was, and they were sold like for like $4.99 on Amazon. So like really, really good margins. But long and short, I didn't understand the understanding of like variants. So the variant I bought was like hibiscus, and I don't know who the hell would want like hibiscus flavored lip balm. And I obviously painfully found out to the point where I was getting like 1 sale a week. And I've got all this products, all this stock that I can't shift. I tried to go to charity shops. I tried to go to car boot sales. No one wanted it. And then I can laugh about that.
Flog a dead horse.
Literally, bro. And then, bro, like I remember like trying to bring the price hella down. No one wanted to buy it. And I got these like mad, like expensive, like 49.9% APR credit cards because I thought like I did the maths, like everything should sell in 50 days. So like 1 month became 2 months became 3, 4, 5, 6. And also how the Amazon works, you also ship it to Amazon. So what I did is I shipped 2,500 units to Amazon. And Amazon charge you for your stock held as well as storage. So I was in a very, very, very crappy situation. Very, very crappy situation. So for me, that was like a lot of financial pressure because I've always, up until then, been very, very like, not risk adverse, but like conservative, right? Very, very conservative. I always kind of play by the book and etc. And that was like flipping out. Like this could go really wrong. Like now, like, and I was working as an apprentice. I was only making like £1,200 a month. After you know, travel, car bits and pieces, contributions to home. I've got nothing. I can't even afford to pay the minimum payments on this credit card. Like it was a real shocker. Like, oh damn, this is actual real business. You know what I mean? And like can't necessarily go to family or friends or kind of get any sort of bailout. So for me, that was a lot of stress, and that's like sort of like my biggest like financial kind of.
So in that moment, so how did you come out of the situation?
Yeah, so for me, it looked at getting really sort of creative. So what I figured out that I could potentially do was that I could go to sort of like spas.
Okay.
Spas. Aesthetics, like them lip filler kind of businesses. So I would just basically email a lot of them and say, hey, like, do you kind of want this? And I'll just sell it at break-even price. So I did that for about 3 months, and I'll just go into like loads of different kind of like beauticians, cosmetics, lip fillers, like any sort of like female kind of cosmetic lip stuff, and I was just flogging it at break-even. And obviously I'd pay for postage or not, but that's basically the way I'd sort of like slowly recoup it.
So in question to that, because a lot of people at that point, similar to myself, rather than try and think of creative solutions, would have probably given up because they would have probably been feeling like I'm weighing above my head, over my head. Where did that kind of come from? Where did that kind of like creativity, what sparked that? Let me try and find solutions as opposed to let me just give up.
I think a big part of being an entrepreneur is your pride and your ego. And that you've said you're going to do X and you've not done X. Do you get what I mean? And there might be different things for different people, but a big part of that was for pride. It's like I've told a lot of people, I'm going to start this business. And 6 months in, I'm throwing the towel in. I'm like, what the hell?
Bro.
You know what I mean? So I can't say anything ever else again. So that was a big thing for me. Just like my pride and my ego is like, bro, I can't let lip balm ruin me. You know what I mean? Like, I can't let this ruin me. So I literally had to just think, and I went to the bank, I asked for extensions and on my credit card and say, hey, can I get delayed payments? Because obviously I didn't want like missed payments or like defaults and etc. And I just feel like, who would want lip balm? I definitely know it's not going to be the guys. It's definitely going to be the girls. So cool. Where like I can't go to Tesco's. Like I'll go to car boot sale, like, all these people are just flogging it at me for like, they want it at 10p. Like, who would want it? So I just kind of went to all these spa like retreats and like these massage places and I say like, hey, you can offer these to your customers at £1, I'll sell it to you at 38 pence. And like, yeah, flipping out, why not? Because you could buy it at Tesco for £4.99. Because that's what it's selling on Amazon, obviously just not my correct variant. So for me, like a big part of that was like my pride and my ego. I was like, that could not be the downfall for me.
No, there's definitely a lot of business lessons in there. I think for me, the biggest one that stands out is just that just because you have a particular product and it might not work in one channel, it doesn't mean you can't move it over to another channel or a different arena. You know, obviously initially your plan was to sell it that way. You realized that way didn't work, so you pivoted and tried another way. And that's what we talk about a lot, in life, in business, that just because something doesn't work out how you planned it, and 9 times out of 10, things never go to plan.
It will never. But
it's about being creative and finding another way. Like, this product has been created for a reason.
Yeah.
Who would benefit from this? And sometimes just that little switch in thinking that can kind of, take your business from one place to the other.
Yeah, no, quite literally. And I think for me, that was a big learning lesson for me and how I've always thought about stuff in business. And even us, like, we went to like an event last week and property, and obviously for those of you who don't know, obviously me and John run short-term rental businesses, and a lot of the time sometimes we get opportunities or what we call deals for us to take on the short-term rental side. And a big mindset shift that someone who joined the event said it's not about, oh, this doesn't work for me, but how can I make it work for me? You know what I mean? And I feel like sort of like trying to, you know, take that mindset with you into business is like, oh, well, like, this doesn't work for me. This is too big for me. This is too bright. This is not what I had in mind. Okay, cool. How can you make it work?
And I think when you do that, it's almost like you open up another part of your brain. Like it forces you to not have, and we've had an episode, I think it was one of our first episodes, a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. When you have a fixed mindset, your mindset is that this is it, there's no other way. This is all I know. And you're basically running off just the information that you know within yourself.
Very limited.
But that is very limited. And it's only when, we always talk about this, we spoke about it the other day, when you start to get curious, curiosity opens up the mind, and it now starts to make you think of other ways to do things, other ways to live your life, other ways to grow your business, other ways to stay fit, healthy, meet other people. So yeah, just curiosity.
110%. Another thing I kind of wanted us to talk about, because obviously finance, that's always like a big thing, like people kind of come into debt or running out of money or not having enough money. But another thing I kind of wanted to talk about was also like poor decision making as well. So again, through like your multiple businesses that you've ran, what are some poor decisions, obviously in hindsight, maybe not at the time probably, that you think, if I was to do this business again, what I would do differently and why?
I'll talk about this business, and I've spoken about it before in previous episodes. I think what I would have done as the business started to grow, rather than increase costs, which I did naturally with lifestyle creep, etc., I'll just consistently reinvest the money back, because the quicker you can reinvest the money back into the business, the quicker your business is going to grow. The quicker your business grows, the more money you'll naturally make anyway. Like, so the growth of your business is a natural byproduct, or money is a byproduct of you growing your business. And I just feel I was a bit careless with the money and the income as it started to come in. Yeah, I just feel like I could have done better planning. Like that whole saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I just feel this business has taught me the importance of planning. It sounds boring, but it's very methodical. And, you know, if you can just lay out a plan for your business, even if for the next 12 months, it gives you direction. It lets you make better decisions. And I just feel, decisions around finance kind of can throw any business out. And if you're not careful, it can, you know, put you out of business.
Literally. Quite literally. I think there's a couple of things for me. I'll kind of give two-ish. The first one, and I always say, was just hiring. No one teaches you how to be your boss. So I think how I went about hiring staff just meant I had such a high turnover. So looking for quality staff that fit the mindset and your mission statement of your business is massively important. But again, like I said, we've spoken about that in another episode in terms of what we would do differently. But I think something that upon realization, especially with what I do now and also what you do now with our education and consulting business, is investing. I wish I invested more in my education. I know you did quite a bit of that. And I know when I first met you, you opened my eyes to a lot of stuff like SOPs and, you know, all the different types of systems and operations. But for myself, and there was even a thing where like I just felt like I didn't gel enough with people. And I felt like I should have just been a bit more transactional. It's like, I don't care if I don't like you. I just want to use a resource, whether that's my time, my energy, or my money, to get whatever information I can get from you, right? And I think that would have massively propelled me, because when I look at a lot of my mentees and my students now, one of my mentees, Mo, it's his 1 year anniversary in property, and since working with me, he's on his 5th property. When I first started my business, 12 months, I picked up my first set of keys, and I wasn't even making £200.
Yeah.
So, and he's taken the leap of investing in himself and investing in his education, and look how far he's come so quickly. And I just thought about, and not even just in my immediate property business, but in any other businesses that I've done, right? I wish I just invested a lot more time and education, or just read, or just learned, or got a mentor from someone, because I think that would have just massively propelled me.
Yeah, definitely.
Massively propelled me, would have saved me so much more time, so much money. There's like tens of thousands of pounds I've just spent in business that I've just lost.
And there's a big like hesitancy to, you know, invest in a coach, invest in a mentor. And obviously, whilst I've spent a lot of, money over the years with different mentors, coaches. Some of them haven't been great.
Yeah.
But I've always tried to take something from them, and in all honesty, it's been very difficult to find the right person. But it's definitely helped, because if someone has knowledge and can get you somewhere a lot quicker than you doing it yourself, why would you not?
100%.
People spend money to go to uni and evening courses and that. So why would you not invest money in knowledge and
100%.
improving and getting better? And I just feel like there's a certain stigma around investing in your knowledge, and I don't know why.
It's not sexy. It's not cool. Do you get what I mean? Like, to invest in yourself. When people don't even want to go to the gym to live longer and live healthier lives, so why do you think they're going to invest in a business where they need to work on? People don't like hard work. You know what I mean? And I feel like, again, it is very contradictory, because as also in the human society, we're a very leverage-based society without us even knowing. Like, you will pay $6.99 a month to Amazon to get stuff next day. You will pay Domino's £20 to get a fresh pizza at your door rather than cook it in your oven, right? We pay for convenience, and that's what you're leveraging with your money.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you want to get ahead, especially in business, why not leverage someone else's hard graft, experience, craft, and follow their blueprint? I always say, and I will always die on this. So, like, I will never ever want to be an inventor. That's the hardest thing. That is the hardest thing. Like, why would you, why is everyone trying to solve, or it'll be great, but why is everyone trying to solve, like, the cure to cancer? I always say. Like, why not just follow a very clear blueprint? And that's why I always say, like, one of my dreams is to have a McDonald's. Because in every single land, in every single country, that is a brand and restaurant you can trust. Once you see those golden arches and you're hungry, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, you know what you're getting.
So why am I going to try and create the new fast food Freeman eatings? Like, why?
And I think a lot of people feel like to be successful in business, they have to reinvent the wheel. And if I'm honest with you, looking back at my business career, that was one of the things I used to do all the time. And I look back and I realized why some of my businesses didn't work, because I was constantly trying to reinvent the wheel. And the moment I realized, actually, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You need to find an industry where people are already making money and just enter the industry. And just learn what everybody in that industry knows.
Literally.
And maybe come up with some slight difference. And sometimes you don't even need to. Just go where people are making money and you'll make money. And I think
100%.
Looking back, like you said about decisions, just reinventing the wheel. There's no need. And I was going to say, another one I had got me thinking is that as your business grows, your costs grow as well, like within the business. And I think it's very important to keep an eye on your costs. Always be looking at where can we maybe trim costs. Is that necessary? Do we need to spend that? Is there a more cost-effective way to do things? Because obviously if you can trim your costs, you increase your bottom line, you increase your profit margins, you make more money. Happy days, everyone's happy. So it's very important to not get lazy. And that might mean hiring a bookkeeper quite early on who can maybe do the books for you, can do the numbers for you to allow you to now focus on the other areas of your business.
No, 110%. And just even sort of like adding to that as well, like in what we mentioned of start from an entry point of what someone else is doing. Like a perfect example, there are hundreds of different car brands and models. Do you get what I mean? They all have 4 wheels and a steering wheel. Right, but they all have their own little spin. One, we've got louder speakers, got a different trim, different colors, different seats. But fundamentally, every single car is the same. They all get you from A to B. You put some form of fuel in them, whether it's electric or gas, right? And it gets you to where it needs to be, So that's like a big thing for me. Like, it's like just get into an entry point, where there's like a lot, like John said, like there's a lot of people doing it, and then just put your own little spin or spice into it, But I think that's like going to be very, very beneficial.
So, in regards to obviously looking back at the businesses that you've had, more notably, let's talk about the one that you're in now, because obviously, you've built it to the level you have, very successful business. What would you do differently? What would you have done differently?
One thing immediately I would do is invest in my education or my knowledge. And I'm not just sort of saying it because I'm also a mentor, but like I'd read books, I'd follow people on LinkedIn, I would look at other successful businesses, I'll scan their website, look at their About Us page, look at the whole journey, and look to see how I can emulate that as well. We now thankfully have ChatGPT. We've got a lot of powerful AI resources that you can just plug information into, and it can sculpt and structure business plans, agendas, next steps, and exactly what to do. So that'll be like the first thing I do.
Nice. I think for me, I would try and build a business that doesn't need me. Like I've learned in terms of growing my business from where it is now to like a 6-figure business is that if your business needs you, you don't have a business. You have a high-paying job. And I didn't know that till quite late on, because what I've also learned from, you know, the knowledge that I've gained, books that I've read, is that an entrepreneur's job is not to run around within the business. It's to grow the business. It's to identify the things that only you can do in your business. It's about identifying things that will take your business to the next level, things that you love to do, things that you're passionate about, and just growing the business, not running the business. And I felt in the early stages, I was doing everything in the business. So that's what I definitely do different. Like really map out a business that doesn't need me, and then slowly start to bring in people that can, you know, reduce the workload to allow me to focus on growing the business.
110%. And I feel that's massively beneficial to one's growth, to where you need to be. But arguably, I'd say that, would you not say that at the start, aren't you not going to be doing a lot of stuff? I suppose it depends kind of on the business I was supposed to.
Yeah, it depends on the business. But again, it's like if you think about what your business needs, then you can probably plan a little bit better. So you might say, actually, rather than me only needing £5,000, I need £15,000 because when I start, I'm going to need to hire that person to do that. I'm going to need to hire that person to do that. So I just feel you execute the business a bit different when you're building something that doesn't need you. Does that make sense? So
yeah, I suppose your setup's different.
Your setup's different. And I feel like you grow a lot quicker. And I can only speak from experience because the moment that I did step away from doing everything, the business just grew so quickly.
Yeah.
Because I focused on growth.
Yeah.
And you can't focus on growth. Well, you can, but it's very slow. If you're trying to focus on growing your business and doing everything in your business, it's going to be a painful experience, bro. Like dealing with the day-to-day stuff. It's very difficult. Very difficult.
No, I'm with you. No, I think there was a lot of source that we've given. You know, I think there was a lot of game. And just obviously to summarize, like, business isn't easy. It's tough. It's difficult. There's peaks and troughs, but you need to be absolutely persistent. And I think like there's a lot to take away there, from, you know, your finances to education to the setup of your business, and how you go about doing that. But guys, I really, really hope you appreciate this episode. As always, we pour our heart and soul. Please make sure you like, you share, you subscribe, you tell a friend to tell a friend, tell your mum, tell your dad, tell his mistress. Please tell her. Help us on the journey to 1,000 subscribers, please, guys. Just click that button. It's massive. It's red. It's impulsive. Touch it. Jeez. But as always, guys, love, love, love.
Elevate.